Hello my lovely ravens and welcome back to another Matchbox video. If you would like to make your own, everything is in the description box below, so you can make your own if you would like to do so. As you saw from the intro, I am making 4 Privet Drive today. Not all the Matchboxes have an inner and outer shell, but this one does, and I'm starting off by working on the outer shell first. I have cut out the cavities for the windows and now I just need to put some acetate behind them to make them into actual windows. The Dursleys' nephew, Harry Potter, was delivered to the Dursleys on the front step the night after his parents' death. For most of his young life, Harry was forced to live in the cupboard under the stairs. The outside of the windows will have window frames, and that is what I'm cutting here. Number 4 was filmed at a real house at Picket Post Close, Wingfield Row, Bracknell, Berkshire, in the film adaptation of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. In September 2016, the property was put up for sale. In the following films, it was recreated in the Leavesden Studios. 4 Privet Drive is based on J.K. Rowling's own childhood home in Winterbourne, near Bristol. The windows themselves have a diamond pattern, and I'm drawing that on with a Sharpie. Instead of just making a square house, I thought it would be nice to add in the roofs as well. So that is what I'm making here from some corrugated cardboard, and I made it slanted with some pieces of cardboard behind it. For this build in particular, I wanted to put as much detail in as possible, so I'm adding some skewers here as drain pipes. In Lego Harry Potter Years 1 to 4, the Dursleys have a sign hanging in their home which says "No one's used in this house." And then I was looking at my reference images and thought, there is a garage next to it. So I am just adding basically a cube next to the house, and that will be attached as the garage. While the layout of the house had remained the same throughout the films, the interior design elements, the carpet and the wallpaper, have changed several times. In the 1st, 2nd, 5th and 7th films, the front door is black and has no windows. In the 3rd film, the door is white and has a large window. Now off camera, I thought I added some more detail by adding these little rings on the drain pipes and also the garage door, just little pieces of cardstock just added there. And for even more detail, I wanted to add roof panes, because why not? I know it already looks like that, but I wanted to add a little bit more of that small detail there. So I'm cutting out these strips of the corrugation and adding that into layers on top of the corrugation that's already there, and that will add the illusion of roof panes. And here we have all the detail done on the outside of the building. I still have to paint it, but let's move on to the interior now. First, going to cut out the window because that is the main feature in the middle of the room. Here we have the window all done up, and I'm going to add the same detail to the window, but this time with a Posca marker. With this Deco Art Light Buttermilk color acrylic paint, I'm going to paint the walls. This is going to be the base color. I will add stripes. I have this checkered washi tape and I cut it into even thinner strips, and I'm going to just mask off where I want the white to stay white, or the cream, it is a cream color really, and going in with this pink. There are various images of the Dursleys' living room, and there is a slight pink in there, so there we have it. Now this gave me a little bit too much Umbridge vibes, so I'm going over with a watered down light buttermilk acrylic paint, and it is much better in the end. This is what it looks like, and now I'm gonna go in with a sparkly paint that is the white in the pearl colors of Gansai Tambi. It is white gold, and just wetting that here. And now I'm going to add stripes to that wallpaper. Wallpaper usually has a little bit of a sheen or details with shiny elements in them, and I could see that in the reference images too. So this is where I add that, and in the end you will be able to see, like you can see here, you will be able to see it shimmer sometimes from certain angles, but not all the time. Now we also have to add some curtains, and this is going to be the curtain top, where the curtains, or the railing where the curtains will sit behind. And I'm going to cover that in the same fabric that I'm going to be using for the curtains. Harry wasn't the only thing that Dumbledore left behind when he visited for Privet Drive. He also invoked strong magic, granting Harry absolute protection from Lord Voldemort and his Death Eaters whilst he was at the house, as long as Harry could still call Privet Drive his home until he came of age on his 17th birthday. As it happened, the Order of the Phoenix chose to move Harry to a different safe house during the famous Seven Potters operation, a few days in advance of his 17th birthday, after which the magical protection was broken. Before the Order's arrival, however, Vernon Dursley was worried that the plan was actually to cover for a plot by Harry to get the house. Harry scoffed at this theory, noting, "Just in case you've forgotten, I've already got a house." Both Harry's words and his tone of his voice silenced his uncle, who couldn't think of a good argument against that. To let that stand out from the wall, I'm going to add little pieces of skewer behind that curtain rail. For the curtains, I cut it to size, and then as I fold, I iron it, and I glue it, and then I iron it, and yeah, that's how you get curtains in this tiny little scale. And this is how the curtain will fit in there. And then I saw that there was a piece of white kind of lace curtain behind that big curtain as well, so I thought to add that in here too, and this is what it looks like. In my stash I've found some samples of carpet, or actually upholstery, and that is what I added to the floor here. It looks like the carpet as I could see in the reference images. Maybe it is a little bit darker in the reference images, but here we have it. I thought this would fit in nicely. And moving on to the exterior and going to add all those details so they stand out, and it looks like the actual Dursley house. Dudley had 2 bedrooms, and his other bedroom, where he kept his toys, was the smallest of the 2, was given to Harry by Vernon in 1991, not an act of kindness, but an attempt to prevent him from receiving his acceptance letter to attend Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. And we are back to the interior. This is going to be the fireplace. I cut it out of some chipboard, and now I'm going to work on the chairs. This fluffy fabric I cut, like you can see me do here, the fibers off, so I have the flocking to use on the chairs. This is going to be the chair, but some parts I can't really cover with the fabric because it's just too thick in this kind of scale. So I'm adding some wood glue and then basically pressing that down in the flocking, or the bits that I just cut off of the fabric. And then once that's dry, brushing that off with a dry brush, and that will give me the coverage of that fabric that I wanted to have. This is the fireplace all assembled, and now I'm going to paint that with acrylic paints. The scene where Dudley reconciles with Harry does not make it into the film, though it was filmed and is included as a deleted scene in the DVD of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1. I had to add in some family portraits and tiny certificates as well, and then we have the mirror, tables, lamps, and the fireplace here. I'm going to place them all inside. This is where I'm cutting all of the envelopes. Not the best way to cut them. I eventually end up cutting them with scissors, but it's basically the front and the back of the envelope that come flying through the fireplace at the top and the bottom, and then I can just fold them in half, and then we have a tiny little envelope. They are really, really, really tiny. And you can have a guess at how many I made and how many there are in the fireplace. I used all of these. So there we have it. So I added some pieces of wire into the fireplace and glued all the envelopes on top of the wire. Let's have a look at the final result. If you made it this far into the video, make sure to let me know by telling me which Hogwarts house you are in. This is it for this Matchbox for Privet Drive, where everything began for Harry. I'm really pleased with how this one turned out. I really like the exterior and the little chairs. All my social media can be found in the description box below, and if you're new here, welcome. Don't forget to hit that subscribe and bell notification button so you don't miss out on any future videos. And of course, become part of the Raven family. Thanks so much for watching, stay safe, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!